Welcome back to another episode of the Dodgeball Dudes. I'm Phil.
And I'm Peter.
And in this episode, we're going to be reading your comments and answering your questions.
Any tips on pancaking?
I reckon pancaking is all to do with the timing. You want to do it right after they release the ball. You don't want to move and pre-dodge before they release, or else you're giving them a bit of information on what you're doing with your dodge.
I think the struggle that I have sometimes is I use it as a last resort. So I'll just go low and pray that no one will hit me. I feel like the push-up is the last resort.
Yeah,
true. You pancake as the second last, and then if they throw low, then you push up. So that's the last resort. Yeah. My team and I are trying to start a dodgeball club in Timor. These videos have been extremely helpful for us and the players. Thank you. You're welcome, Thurston Mirolov.
Thank you.
Where is Timor? Is that East Timor? Like... Yeah, we play dodgeball, not geography.
Should we just quickly look it up just to see where it is?
Yeah, East Timor. Oh, Asia. Southeast Asian nation.
Asia. All right.
Oh, the currency is the USD. How weird is that?
All right.
Any tips for dodgeball injuries? I have extreme pain in my elbow whenever I throw a ball at this point. I think it's golfer's elbow, but I don't know.
Oh, God. Okay.
I feel like I had golfer's elbow before with my left arm. Right here, this is the point where I felt the most pain. One, it wasn't strong enough, but two, I kept doing this weird throw where I throw at an angle like this, like a no-look throw, and it puts all this pressure just right on the elbow point.
Yeah.
I started going to the gym and I started strengthening my arm.
Yeah.
And because of that strengthening, I started to use other areas of my arm, to like compensate for this part here.
Yes.
Right
A full-on upper body workout as opposed to just isolating this section when you're throwing instead.
Yep.
Yeah. Try the following. Rest. Put your golf game or other repetitive activities, dodgeball, on hold until the pain is gone, and if you return to activity too soon, you can worsen your condition. Ice the area affected for 15 minutes to 20 minutes at a time, 3 to 4 times a day for several days. Use a brace, which might reduce tendon and muscle strain. Stretch and strengthen the affected area, which is what you did. Your doctor might suggest exercises for stretching and strengthening. Progressive loading of the tendon with specific strength training exercises has been shown to be especially effective.
Pancaking is the way, but you gotta learn to move quickly afterwards. I'd highly recommend burpees into anyone's training setup for knowing how to fall and get back up quicker and safer.
Hey Dodgeball Dudes, I'm interested in learning more about the sport and was curious what positions, if any, exist in dodgeball. Thanks for the amazing content, you guys. Thank you. Positions in dodgeball. The way I know of it, wings on the outside, then wings support right next to them, then you've got center players in the center. Other people would say corners or guards as wings. And then you've got other names for different various positions inside as well.
The wings are probably the most important because you're covering more angle, so you have more to wash down, and usually the strongest players go to the wings. You have to really cover the wings across you.
And more often than not, you might be playing as a center or a support, but eventually you're going to end up playing as a wing. So everyone has their own roles of like either faking or attacking or supporting the right player. Everyone has their own positions. Everyone knows what they're doing. And when you make a call, everyone should know what their role is in that call as well.
Just got into dodgeball a week ago. I found y'alls while searching through dodgeball related vids. I must say, this channel is real underrated. The editing is fire and so goofy. I love it. Well, you're a legend, aren't you?
Yes, I love it. Thank you.
Imagine if these guys use footage of you to show what you don't do in dodgeball. That would be embarrassing. I'm a bit big, so I dodge sideways with a jump. So no one gets my toes, and if the ball hits me high, then I create a little catching box, and the ball doesn't drop to the ground because it lands on the top of my thighs. It's a great little way to create a little catching zone while you're in the air.
It's interesting. It's either you jump so that if they do throw under you, they throw low, then they just goes right past you, and you've got this little like catching box that you control. So it's that either they can hit you right on your legs, on your knees, or just like outside the catching zone. But instead of jumping, I reckon you could also just plant on the floor, and that'll be your catching zone. And it's either going to hit you on your knees or just around the outside of the catching zone as well. The jumping part of it makes me be like, oh man, I just feel like there's so many factors. I don't know what can happen. And I can't jump that high anyways. So I put so much energy to jump, whereas I feel like it might just be a little bit easier if I just got on my knees and sort of just planted there and get ready for that catch. But that's me. I don't know about you.
Yeah, I think definitely when you go on your knees, you have more time to think about catching.
Yeah.
But when you are in the air, you're so focused on trying to dodge, and it's so hard to get into a catching position in the air too.
Yeah, everyone's different. And I know I have interviewed a bunch of people where they do say they love jumping. They love jumping for that catch. They can dodge that ball and catch that one if the other one comes straight for them. To each their own.
JP Newens from Canada. Long windups are also great to get people pre-dodging, not just forcing them to block in a direction. Yeah, that's a really good little tactic that I don't really consider too much, because my windups are really quick.
Yeah, those big windups just make my eyes stare at them just for a second longer, hey. So yeah, whereas for me, I'm like, I like the quick, short windup. It sort of feels like you're sniping them instead of a long wind-up where it's like, here's my gun, here's my bullet, have a look over here. Very different in terms of strategy and dodgeball gameplay. Oh my gosh. Love this video. I've got to work on my leg technique and staying lower. About to apply some techniques in an hour. Our team is playing the #1 team in the league.
Ooh.
How'd it go?
We lost that team, but the second team we played was a win.
Nice. I'm sure you get to learn a lot of things about it, hey? So all the games that you've lost, take away the bad things, take away the good things, do more good things, then do less of the bad things.
I'm playing with a team that I've never played with before. I was so used to playing in teams where we were always winning, so I felt like I didn't learn too much. But now I see so many things that I'm doing wrong that it's such a good opportunity to learn and figure out why I got out.
Yeah.
Because otherwise, if I just kept playing in the winning teams, I wouldn't really learn much.
Yeah, you're growing more individually, right? Personally. And then because you want to grow personally and you're the captain of your own team, right? You also are trying to like improve and progress everyone in the team as well. So it is a hard job, but it's more apparent if you're playing in a team that's the skill level isn't as high. Failure is a fertilizer for success.
Ooh,
there you go.
Failure is a stepping stone towards success.
Yes, love it, love it. Any tips for sweaty hand players for better grip? Liquid chalk. How to prevent sweaty hands? Might as well.
How do you stop sweating? Oh my god, I sweat so much.
I don't think you can, man. Practice conscious de-stressing techniques. Keep your hands clean. Try to not use soap too often, though it can dry out your skin and make your hands sweat more. So the more dry your hands are, then your skin's sort of like, oh, it's a bit too dry. I need to put some moisture in it.
Your body is sending the signals. Keep some talc handy. What is talc?
I think talc is talcum powder, which is baby powder. Yeah.
Oh,
Talcum
right.
or baby powder.
Powder up those balls.
Powder up all parts of sweaty things.
So that's basically chalk.
And eat the right foods. Try and remove high processed foods and refined sugars from your diet. Spicy peppers, chilies will also make you naturally heat up.
Damn, but I love my melatonin.
If you love your melatonin, then you just need to have your chalk.
Gotta have that baby powder.
Yeah, if less than that. Tip 26. If you could give one advice to new dodgeball players.
Just learn to get the out of the way. The longer you're on court, the more experience you get. And the longer you stay on court, the more frustrated the other person gets. And then you tilt them, and then you teabag them, and then they die.
Cool. Yeah, no, that's awesome.
Gotcha, Pete. Oh, damn, that was Simpson.
Simpson.
Damn. Damn you, Simpson.
I hate to see it. Just clenched it, just between his fingertips too. Hey.
Simpson's actually in one of our videos, the catching video.
Yes, that's true.
So if you want to learn how to catch like Simpson, check out the video right here.
So normally you have a catching zone and you try to keep your arms tucked in. If it goes high, then you can't reach, but sometimes you can't help it.
Tip. Swing very fast and switch sides of where you're going to throw. It will trick the enemy and constantly observe how they dodge and throw. Then you can study them and get
OP.
I think what he's probably trying to say is it's important to not keep to the same actions. You want to change up all the time so that you can observe how they react to you, and then that will just, I guess it will make it harder for them to study you as well as a player.
Because it makes you more
unpredictable.
Yeah, nice.
Unpredictable.
You guys are hilarious. Easiest sub of my life.
Ah.
You can use the early dodge to your advantage by psyching them into thinking that you will dodge a certain direction, but you can go a different direction and trip them up. It takes some brain power, but if you can, then it's pretty worth it for the counter push. You can do this if they're tripped up by it. However, do this too much or they will catch on. Use it in unexpected moments for them. I believe what he's saying is you're using your pre-dodge to make them think you're dodging a certain direction and just playing around with that. But if you keep pre-dodging the same way, if you're known to pre-dodge, then they'll just fake you out.
Do you find that you do that a lot, where you do a fake pre-dodge before they throw?
Sometimes if I'm not like focused and there's like still a lot of players left on the field and you don't know who's throwing or who's faking, then you just sort of like dodge for the sake of dodging and you're not even tracking a ball by that point. Hey, you're just like reacting to the movement of them faking. which is kind of bad because if they do 2 fakes, if the call is like, oh, let's do 2 fakes and then we'll throw, then you're really out of position and you're also probably putting the rest of your teammates out of position as well. But yes, I feel like if there's less players throwing at you, you can definitely do a couple sneaky pre-dodging or some like body twitches to give yourself more information on where they're going to throw. Or maybe like have them slip up their feeding technique or the way they plant just to make the throws a bit more inaccurate.
I do this most often when I'm last.
Yeah.
So when my second last player gets out and I'm last and there's 3 balls about to come at me, that's when I feel like I have to do the most pre-dodges.
Yeah.
So it might be like a right and a left and then a right, like a more exaggerated right, or it might be like I pretend to jump and then go down low. I guess the point of it is you're planting ideas in the head of the opponents so that you make it confusing for them to know where to throw.
I'm someone who was thinking of getting into dodgeball and I live in Sydney. And so this was pretty intimidating of a video for me to watch since I'm a completely new player and I've only started a regular workout routine. I gotta say, it's so relieving and comforting to know how these pros not only reserve judgment but have such solid advice and even teach the technique that I was looking for specifically, which was throwing. I had no idea most of it comes from the legs. This video was super helpful and made me a lot less nervous about signing up for my local.
I feel like for us, that's a mission complete. Music to our ears.
Yes, thank you for commenting. It's really, really nice. Mitch Jansen. I hate hearing my voice in the background. We don't.
We don't.
If you're craving Dodgeball and you're looking for high quality streams with commentators, Dodgeball TTV.
When I'm the last player, I first think, what does my team need? Just like you guys said, it's sometimes the solo has to drag things out or try to force a quick finish. I also think, what is my plan? If I think I can play defensively and throw people out when they're on defense, I'll be really conservative. If I think they have better throwers than my defensive skills, I'll look for more catches and quick counters. To me, that last player should always have a plan. Yeah, that's so true.
Yeah.
Sometimes even now, you look at the players on the other side and you're like, damn, these are strong players.
Yeah.
You start to get stressed and then you don't really have a plan. You're just like, oh, I'll try and survive and then I'll figure out what to do next.
Yeah.
So it's really even hard to come up with a game plan when you're super stressed like that.
Yeah. I feel like a lot of it is, what is the plan? What value can you get from it? And what's the next steps? What's the next game plan? To put yourself in that situation more makes it a lot more easier for you to figure out what the plan is, as opposed to going on and as you said, it's like, I don't really know what to do. I just want to throw and not get hit. And it's like, nah, it's got to be more than that. It's got to be like, who are you targeting? Who do you think is the biggest threat? Who do you think is the most accurate that can get you out, you know? Are you going to try and catch their ball? There's so many things to consider.
Yeah. And I think Terry's right. There's like, you have to consider what it is that the team needs, because if you just jump on and like the time's running out, you're losing and you're just playing solo and you just want to win for your own satisfaction, then you're not really serving the whole team. So you really have to just think bigger picture and smaller picture at the same time.
The single player forward is a fairly common strategy in Canada from what I've seen. What do most Australian teams / players do in this situation?
So he's referring to when you used to have a full team but you have one ball.
Yes.
So then they're coming with 5 balls. What does that player with a single ball do?
So there's 2 things we're doing, right? So one of the 2 things would be either baiting out the balls. So you're applying heaps of pressure and you're trying to bait out balls so no one gets hit, and you're trying to get all the pressure on yourself, relieving the pressure from your priority targets, which is most likely your wings or your playmakers. Or you go up, you don't bait balls, and you literally just try to take out a priority target with the thoughts of you're probably going to die anyways.
Yeah, you're trying to go out with a bang, basically.
Yeah.
Trying to go out and do as much damage as possible, knowing that you might die in the process.
Chuck in a fake, ruin the timing and the syncs of things, and then throw a ball, try to hit out a priority target, and hopefully with all that chaos, hopefully you can survive and whilst you take someone out. If not, you get taken out, someone else gets taken out, and hopefully the rest of your team is alive from that chaos. I see that play of the one person moving up, but I've also seen that one person stay back. And then when the other team go to throw, the one player charges forward to get a quick and close shot off. So they're playing a faster counter rush game instead. Oh, and my team has played with the idea of moving up, passing the ball back, trying to catch, but have someone else with the ball split the focus. Oh my gosh.
That's kind of that random strategy that we're coming up with, where everyone's targeting that one player with the ball, but then that player passes the ball to another player, which diverts their attention over to here.
Yes.
And then that player can go for a catch when they're
that's
being
in
targeted.
Our other video.
Yeah, that's for our upcoming video that we haven't released just yet.
On teams I've played with, giving the last ball to someone in the middle going up is to bait balls on that player. Usually giving it the best dodger, blocker, or survivor. so it takes the attention away from the other teammates, hopefully getting back enough balls to set up an attack. That player also has an option to throw if the other team isn't respecting them. There might be other subtleties to it, but that's the gist of it. Our boy Max is right. I usually tell people to go fishing, get some ammo back, makes yourself look like an irresistible target to the point where the other team might crack a shot they shouldn't take. Plus, you are technically still a threat, so it takes pressure off the wings, who are probably the preferred target, which is what I said before.
I do like that term, go fishing. Imagine that you're the last player and your teammates go fishing.
Go. In the very least, you're messing with their throw cadence. With 5 balls, they're likely going to send at least 2 over, which is true, because if they send 1, then
have to throw again.
Yeah, it's still their advantage. They still have to throw again. So they'll at least throw 2. And if you're the single ball survivor, you can often pump fake to mess up their count/coordination. Even if they're not sending anything at the single ball, which is rare, they're less likely to have a coordinated attack on their intended target.
Honestly, that used to work 3 years ago, but now that everyone has strategies to counter it, it usually results in the middle getting smoked or some other defenseless players losing 1 to 2 for 3 balls is not worth it. You know, as strategies become more well known, that means there's more counter strategies as well. I guess that's why it's important to keep improving and updating your strategies and not doing what everyone else does.
At the end of the day, it's just who's more accurate and who's better dodger, right? And who can do it better in a team synced cohesion way.
Since I started playing Dodgeball, my life has changed. I love this channel. Keep going like this, guys. You guys are amazing. Thank you, Sophia. If you have any other questions for us that you want us to answer, please leave it in the comments below and we will answer them, and we'll see you in the next video.